Okay, so this is converting metric units practice. Hopefully you have a piece of paper and a pencil and we can try some of these together. For our first problem, we've got another one of those tables where it's giving you liters and milliliters. I'd like you to try to complete this one on your own, and then we'll come back and try it together. So go ahead and hit pause while you're working, and then hit unpause when you're ready to hear the answer. Okay, so again, this one's a little bit of a tricky one to start with. We've got 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. Okay, so this time, if I do 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters, and I say, okay, well that means how many liters is going to be 250 milliliters. So that gets a little bit tricky if you don't know the math super well. So one way you can do it is say, okay, well what I did here was divide by 4. 1,000 divided by 4 is 250. So 1 divided by 4 would actually be decimal 25. Okay, so decimal 25 liters. Okay, for those of you that are saying, well, I'm not quite sure how you got this, remember we can take our 250 milliliters, and here's our decimal, and because we're dividing it, and because we're moving it into liters, okay, we would take that decimal and go 1, 2, 3 to get 0.25 or 0.250 liters. Okay, because of that chart that I showed you at the beginning of the mini lesson. And then for the last one, moving liters to milliliters, you can look at your chart, and some of you are going to notice right away what you think is going to go there. If not, 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So 5 liters, 1 times 5 is 5, so do times 5 down here, and you're going to get 5,000 milliliters. So 5,000 would go over here. Okay? Hopefully you got that one right. Let's try another one. This one is going to have you converting, so it's changing 2,700 centimeters to meters. Hit pause and try it, and then come back when you're ready for the answer. So for this one, again, I am going to use those equivalent fractions, and I'm going to remember that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. If I don't remember that, they do give it to me down here in the conversions, which will help me. Okay, then I set up my equivalent, and I say, okay, well they're asking me how many meters, so I don't know, and they're telling me 2,700 centimeters. So 100, so 1 times 27 is, and then because of my 2 zeros, is going to be 2,700. So if I do times 27 on the bottom to keep it equivalent, I have to do times 27 on the top. So 1 times 27 is 27 meters. So my answer is 27 meters. Now you might have a different way that you're solving it. Mom, dad, brother, uncle, cousin, somebody might be telling you a different way to do it. That's totally okay. My biggest concern is that you're understanding it and that you're able to get the right answer. This is just one method that works for 5th graders. Next problem, try this one. Which one is greater? Go ahead and hit pause and then come back when you're ready for the answer. Okay, so this one's saying 600 milliliters. Well, I need to change this to milliliters then. So this is half of a liter. Well, I'm already thinking, okay, I know that 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So if I have half of a liter, I have to have half of 1,000. So that's going to be 500 milliliters. Okay, and so then now I can compare pretty easily, and I can say, well, B is definitely going to be my greater one. Okay, let's go ahead and try to complete the table again. This one's comparing milliliters to liters. Go ahead and hit pause and come back when you're ready for the answer. Okay, so 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So if they give me 7,000 milliliters, I know that to make that equivalent fraction, I had to do times 7. So I have to do times 7 on the top. So that means that's going to be 7 liters. And then if I use that same idea, and for my bottom one, I say, oh, they give me 3 liters. So 1 times 3 is 3. So 1,000 times 3 is 3,000 liters. Okay, now some of you might have also looked at that table and said, well, I'm just noticing patterns and I don't need to do all of this piece of math. That's fine, you've got to find the method that works for you. Okay, let's try this one. Convert 4,375 meters to kilometers. And we can look down here and notice that there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Hit pause, try it, and come back when you're ready for the answer. Okay, so this is one where I'm going to try to set it up and I'm going to say, well, 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So now they're asking me how many kilometers and they're telling me 4,375. Well, this is going to be kind of funky here because I can't, this is not a whole, it's not a full group of 1,000. Okay, so this is where it's going to be kind of easier to think about just moving that decimal point. Okay, so if I'm moving that decimal point, if I'm going from meters to kilometers, I'm going to move it 3 times because that meters was our base and kilometers was 3 away. So 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be 4.375 kilometers. Now notice, I tried doing my equivalent fraction way first and realized, ooh, that's a little bit sticky that way. Okay, it's possible, but a little bit trickier that way. So then when my equivalent fraction way doesn't work, then I move into that moving the decimal method. Okay, let's go ahead and try this one. It says, arrange the following measurements in order from smallest to largest. So see if you can figure out which one's the smallest and which one's the largest. Go ahead and try it, hit pause, and come back when you're ready. Okay, so my first thing here is I'm noticing that the smallest unit of measure is milliliters, so that's what I'm going to change all of my other measurements into. Well, and I know that 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So 2 liters would have to be 2,000 milliliters. Okay, and then I have 3.1 liters, so that's what gets kind of tricky. Well, if I had 3 liters, it would be 3,000. But I don't have 3 liters, I have 3.1. So that 0.1 is going to be 3,100 milliliters. Okay, and again, when we look at 3.1, we can prove that with moving the decimal. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then notice I get 3,100. So now comparing, I can say smallest to largest, this is going to be our smallest, and then this is our next smallest, and then this is going to be our largest. Okay, probably the trickiest part here was this 3.1 liters. All right, let's try this one. It's filling out the table again. And now we're changing from grams to kilograms. So go ahead and try it, and then we'll come back. Okay, 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. And then I look at 19 kilograms would be how many grams? Well, 1 times 19 is 19. 1,000 times 19 is going to be 19,000 grams. Okay, and then when I go ahead and look here and I say, okay, well, now I only have 15 grams, okay? I think that might have been a little bit of a typo. I think that we were supposed to have 15,000 there, so let's change that. So 15,000 grams, and if we switch it over to kilograms, it's going to be 15 kilograms. Okay, thanks for your patience on that one. All right, thank you so much for watching. Click if you want some more word problems practice.